Back. It is now 7:12, February 11. We're reconvening from closed session, and I apologize for the delay. So, Mr. Weiler, do we have any items to report?
There are no items to report as action taken per the Brown Act.
Thank you, Mr. Weiler. That was item D, closed session. Item E, reconvene to open session. So we're back. That was and then item F, announcement of action taken in closed session. Item G, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. That's item G. So, he was number one. Number two, Dr. Asiat. Please.
Good evening, board members, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, it's an aching night for me. And I have been, for the past maybe 24 years, coming speaking on this podium in different locations. But tonight is not very comfortable night for me. I go back, being in this community, when I came to this community, I met a lot of people, I treated a lot of people, I mixed with a lot of people, and my experience with people, a lot of people lovely, friendly, they don't have this hatred or a mistreatment. I felt like family, in this community. By the way, my name is Dr. Mohammed Asiad. I'm also Imperial County Mental Health Board, and I'm also the California Mental Health Board Director of Southern California. I have 9 counties in charge of. As well, I'm the chairman of the Ethics Committee on the Mental Health Board, as well as the Recognition Committee chairman. I've been doing a lot for many counties around California in many issues. This is just a short history. I dedicated almost 33 years of my time to the community, free of charge. I have not collected anything from this community because this community deserves the best, because people are here, they're human. They all human, regardless their religion, their color, their ethnicity, or whatever. I call on this district. I have stopped for almost a few months not coming here to this meeting because I came to a dead end. This district has failed our students as well the administration big time. We have not done many things. All the things I have spoken and I brought up to the school board as well the administration, none of them even took to the consideration. Talking about safety. Many things this district need to improve a lot. And in the recent things with my kids in the bullying and the discrimination and the calling of names, and many times my kids were beaten, and I go back and discuss it with Mr. Gonzalez when my son was bullied and beaten by many kids around things. We brought up this issue, but the district failed.
Excuse me, can you speak into the microphone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I go back, my daughter comes from school crying every day. Why? For God's sake. I mean, how do we provide for these kids a good environment if we are leaders are failures? So is it good? I guarantee you, this chair that you sit on it is not going to be the next chair you're going to sit. Nobody sits on the chair forever. This chair is temporary. You have to do a good things for these kids. These kids, they depend on you. You are failing big time. When you act not a leader, you don't become a leader. You have to show respect to all kind of humans. Show me, I like to ask my neighbor what he thinks of me. He's my neighbor for 24 years. Every morning I go say good morning, I bring him his cup of coffee. That's how I treat my neighbor. How about my friends and my colleague? You know, I know a lot of people, a lot of school teachers, a lot of police, a lot of judges. We treat people the way we like to be treated. And I repeat it. This time, I see this district is failing our students, is failing our community. It's not focusing on the things needed. We have too many lawsuits. And unfortunately, I am not going to say anything anymore, but I want to address Mr. Calderon. The comments on this Facebook, it was humiliating. It was touchy, not only to my kids, myself. You know, as a Muslim in the Muslim faith, I'm peaceful. I stood in last month meeting in the California Mental Health Board, and I apologize and I offer my sympathy to all these people died, you know, in San Bernardino and whatever, even the people that Mr. McVeigh killed in Oklahoma. These innocent people, they don't deserve to die. We cannot dictate how these people behave. I can dictate myself. And my dictation is on my impression all over here. You know, from whatever, hospitality, treatment, whatsoever. This is how we are. We are peaceful people. We are not terrorists. And we don't like our kids to be called terrorists. My daughter is being called terrorist day and night. And you know what? You know, it makes her life miserable. It makes their achievement bad. So how can we be where we are and fail these kids? We are set them to fail. We should be ashamed of ourselves. We should not take a position we cannot be a model in it. You know, unfortunately, this is a social media is not for a place to put remarks like this. These are really disgrace for anybody look at it. You know, you don't touch on anybody's religion because it's something like your relation with your wife or relation with your girlfriend. You just don't share it with everybody. You know, same thing with your religion. My religion is action, not just junk dump on people. No, my relation, I treat my neighbor as he deserves the best treatment. My friend, my community, my Dr. Yanis know me for 30 years. And he can tell you who's Dr. Asiad. You know, we sit and talk and he need help. I attended so many funerals, you know, and birthdays and communities and so many things I share with everybody, their sorrows, their joy, their function. But, you know, at the end of the day, I say, you know, this is my family here. My family is thousands of miles away in Jerusalem, but this is my family. And I try to establish family here with a lot of people here that they know me. But I felt these are the F word with leaders are not the place in education. And I'm sure all of you go back to the education, Department of Education Code of Ethics and also the California Department of Education prohibition of discrimination, harassment, intimidation, and bullying in California public school. This is public school. It's not private school or somebody belong the school to himself to come and say these things and stirring hate and stirring trouble and stirring problems. Enough is enough. Enough these kids with their scarf on their head, they have a tough time dealing with the remarks from the students, from everybody, sometimes even given hard time by the teachers. So to make story short, I think you need to look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself. Are you better than anybody else? If you are, then you need to find a place that is perfect for you. Maybe this community doesn't belong, you don't belong here. Maybe you need to be somewhere else. Because racial remarks make you very, very disrespectful man. No matter who makes them. If I make them, I am disrespectful. Now, for people sitting here, and Mr. Calderon, you know, in this, you are a president of the board, and you have to act on high level. You are a teacher. You cannot act in this. Using the F word, it's not your class. You brought yourself down, 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 down. You know, I used to treat everybody here. I don't feel like I want to shake anybody's hands, because the fact that we have failed these people, our kids, our community, it make it impossible for us to be around something like this. And I think this is time to review our agenda, our priority, our thing. And I have, enough. My son have suffered all this bullying for many years in the school here, and nothing was done. I brought it up many times previously with Miss Ambrise, with the principal, with the school, even in the summertime. You know what? At the end of the day, I say it's a big failure. Our board is a big failure, big time. When we allow this type of things, we are failing really our position here, chosen by the people here to do our job, to help our community, to provide the best education, the programs, to help improve our community and create love, not hate. When you make the students hate one another and fight one another, you're not creating a teaching environment. So I urge the board to resign, and I urge Ms. Ambrise to resign, because I think we got enough of this. We are wasting the students' money. These are public money. These are money that is thrown in the trash on lawsuits, right and left. Where these kids gonna benefit from it? We can send them to higher education. What we are providing for these kids? Are we just gonna be sitting here and covering one another back and just doing the old compadre system that I'm sick of it? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. This compadre system doesn't exist in the United States anymore. We are in the 21st centuries. Enough that we doing favoritism. Somebody doesn't know the job they do not belong in this job. They cannot handle the job. They should not be there. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. And I think my message is clear. This need to stop. The school need to follow. I think I want to stop here, because I'm touched by this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asiad. Dr. Asiad, you also have a second slip.
Yes. I think I spoke enough. I use it in case I run. It's enough. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you want to put that. Okay. Next on our agenda is Enrique Cervantes.
Enrique Cervantes, mathematics teacher at Enrique Camarena Junior High, employee of this district for 30 years, and also a board member at Meadows Union School District, president of the board. It really grieves me to come here, and I've been grieved since last night when I spoke to Dr. Asiad as to what is going on with his children that both my wife and I both taught. And actually, it's really a disgrace to know that these young ladies can't even go to school peacefully and go back home without crying and stressed because of what's going on. I know for a fact that we as teachers receive a lot of training, a lot of training on discrimination, on harassment, both sexual, racial, every type of harassment that exists. We as teachers have an obligation to look out and make sure that this is not happening, and especially not encouraging it or being part of it. But it's happening right under our nose here. And it really saddens me that this is being allowed. Or maybe you don't have knowledge of it. His daughters do dress differently. But that's no reason for them to be disparaged. They have a different religion, but that's no reason for them to be disparaged. This has to stop. It has to stop. I was looking at your closed session agenda, all the litigation. My goodness, do we need more? Pretty soon we're not going to have enough money to buy the kids books if we keep spending money on litigation. Now, as a fellow board member, to you trustees here, we as board members are held to a much higher standard. We're at the top of the food chain. We're supposed to be the example for the community. We set policy in place for the entire district. That's why I don't do Facebook. I don't do Facebook. And if I ever did, I'm going to say some positive things, but I'd rather keep away from it. Because the minute you slip with one word, you're going to get hit quite a bit of times. If we're going to be representing a community, if we're going to be representing a whole entire school district, we got to live by example. We got to live by example. And that means our language has to change. Maybe in close quarters, secret quarters, you could use some of those F words and, four-letter words. But in public domain, you have to abstain from those things. You have to. For the good of everyone, not just yourself. Because we are the leaders of this district. And I'm talking about you. I'm the leader of my district. And I have to be very careful how I walk and how I talk. So as a fellow member, fellow board member, this is my advice to you. Be careful what you say and how you say it, because it could come back at you. And from the list of litigation you got there, you can't afford any more. I want to get a paycheck at the end of the month. I can't afford for you to tell me that you don't have money left because you spent it all on litigation. I sympathize with Dr. Asiad for what he's going through, because the discriminations against his girls is just one thing. What he's had to live, him and his wife, what happened to them with their boy, I mean, I really don't know how he and his wife hold together. And the fact that that has just been shoved under the rug, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. This school district has the obligation to support families academically and every which way possible. And I encourage you to do something about what's going on at the schools where his daughters attend before it gets late. There's no need for these young ladies to be going through what they're going through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cervantes. And last but not least, Engracia González.
Buenas noches, buenas tardes. ¿Lo puedo decir en español? Claro. Mi nombre es Engracia González, trabajo para el Departamento de Food Service, Assistant Cashier. Y nada más venimos a pedirle a mis compañeras y yo su apoyo para que nos aprueben, por favor, las horas que nos otorgaron. Ya están aprobadas por el distrito, por la unión, pero falta la de ustedes. Y por favor, pues les pedimos su apoyo. Hemos batallado mucho y perseverado tanto que pues es todo lo que le pedimos, que nos apoyen y que, pues muchas gracias por todos y a todas las personas que contribuyeron para que esto se hiciera posible. Gracias a todos y que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Thank you. Does anybody need translation for that? Okay. No, no.
Me puedo expresar más bien en español, pero lo puedo
No, no,
tratar
está
de
bien.
hacer en
Está,
inglés.
no, no hay problema. Oh. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Well, actually, this is last but not least. I'm sorry if I butchered this name. Hanif Mohebi? Okay. Bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. President, rest of the board members, I'm honored to be here in front of all of you guys. My name is Hanif Mohebi. I'm the Executive Director of Council on American Islamic Relation San Diego office, which is also responsible for the Imperial County. So our office is responsible for both San Diego and Imperial counties. We are a civil rights and liberties organization that defends the rights of all people, not just Muslims, but all people. Unfortunately, nowadays, there's a lot of Muslim community that is being harassed and receives a lot of discrimination. So, first and foremost, if anybody ever feels discriminated in any way, shape, or form, students or anyone, please call our office and we would love to help you. My contacts will be outside. I'll leave some cards there. Now, my office was contacted by several people. Majority of them were non-Muslims from this area, all right? And the concern was that there were some administrators, there were some people within the board and outside that essentially were posting Islamophobic or very hateful messages towards the Muslim community in specific, saying that they're all terrorists or whatever. But the point is that they felt that way. Whether that's true or not, that's a different discussion. But that's how they felt. And so we had teachers and others that called us and saying, this is not appropriate. So we had one, I'm not going to go into names, but we had people within the board and also principals and others that used very inappropriate, to say the least. Like, for example, calling the Muslim community towel heads, right? Right? Would you guys agree to that? No. So, I don't want to go back to history, but if we are not we shouldn't, right? There was a time where our Japanese American brothers and sisters were called Japs. Is that acceptable? Absolutely not. There were times where our African American brothers and sisters were called the N-word. Is that acceptable? No. Is it acceptable to blame or put derogatory names on any community? No. So I think as leadership, these are the things that we need to be very conscious of. However, I'm a constitutionalist. My organization defends civil rights and liberties. People have the right to free speech. Each and every one of you, if you come to my office, I will defend you with my life because I want you to have freedom of speech. Right? You can say whatever you like even if I don't like it. So how do we come into connection here? Anytime people who are leaders, and I honor each and every one of you guys because you guys are leaders. So when a teacher or a leader comes up and makes statements that potentially can have harmful effects either on students or others, then we have to be a little bit cautious. So media called me, by the way, and said, what do you say about this? And as you guys know, media loves negative stuff, right? My response to them was, I'm sorry, I'm not going to comment on this. Why? Because I and my organization, we have one of the best relationship with the second largest school district in California, which is the 8th largest in the nation. So we work with many different school districts. We have written, essentially, relationship with them where last year we got a proclamation from San Diego Unified School District for the work that we have done with them on bullying, on providing services that can cure essentially some of the problems that were presented here. So we have many reports and resources. So I come here, and I hope this is, recorded in the minutes. I come here, I drove 2 hours to extend a helping hand to the board, hopefully, and to anybody else that may need it, that we are here to help. We have reports on bullying, of how Muslim students are bullied in public schools in California. All right? We have shared this with San Diego School District and many other school districts. I'll leave you a copy, sir. And also it's online, so you can check it out as well. But let me tell you a few stories of this. They mentioned that Dr. Saeed had daughters, right? Now, a young woman that wears a hijab or the scarf, you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, was going to school. First, she got verbal bullying, right? People were calling her names, derogatory stuff. You're a terrorist, you're ISIS, and so on and so forth. What happened? She reported it to the school administration. What happened then? They took the note or report, but really didn't do nothing else. It was in the process. Then the verbal came to a threat. She was threatened that she will be beaten, and she called the police. The police came and took the report, but they couldn't do anything because it was a threat, right? Guess what? Unfortunately, she was next beaten so severely that she and her family decided just to move from that area. Said, this is a place not for my children. And so this is in our last report. And there are many more in this report. By the way, and I'm going to read just a few of them, okay? This is in their own words. This is what the students say. They would call me a terrorist and a towel head and throw rocks at me. So now when you have your principal or the administrator or a teacher that says, or a board member that calls people towel heads, that gives them, the students, a pass to call each other towel heads as well, right? So you have, I'm judged because I'm a Muslim. They would say that I was terrorist and always ask me, how is the bomb you are working on? Imagine you're a student, you're just trying to get ahead, you're just trying to learn. Someone threatened to kill me if I attended school in 9/11. So what does a student have to do with these kind of remarks? Now, I'll tell you this. So, with highest respect to all of you, when we make certain comments, it has grave consequences. And so, I tell you, as far as statistics are concerned, 55% of Muslim students, those who responded, those who didn't respond obviously don't count, right? It could be much higher than that. But 55% said that they were bullied. 29% of those who wore a headscarf, they said that they were essentially, their headscarf was touched offensively or pulled. Imagine you're a student, you're just trying to do your thing, and people are pulling your headscarf because they don't like the way you are or the religion that you follow. 19% expressed cyberbullying. 27% of the girls said that they felt that the teachers and administrators were part of the problem. Now, this is the perception that the students have. I went to San Jose School District, okay? And I was bullied. I was called all sorts of names, Saddam Hussein, this, that, Unabomber, whatever. But I could always go back to my teachers. I loved my teachers. My teachers are still my heroes. I still know my 4th and 5th grade teacher. They protected me. They were the best to me. Today, students cannot say the same thing. And I don't blame the administration, I don't blame the board, I don't blame people. There is not enough information out there. There's not enough good information out there. So when you have people chopping people's head, you have ISIS, you have all these other things, there's not enough information out there. And so teachers, administrators, and others sometimes make poor judgment, poor decisions. There was a lot of training that the teacher said that they receive. What kind of training that they receive on, for example, current events, what's happening, right? What kind of training that they receive on, for example, the Muslim community and situation. So I will essentially do the following. I'll tell you what needs to be done. In order for us, these are some of the recommendations, and I fully would love to work with your district at whatever capacity you please, so we can hopefully bring about some kind of a resolution to our kids that they deserve. Recommendation is that we have some kind of a partnership if possible. If not, at least at minimum, some kind of a resolution for sensitivity training or some kind of a training, right? At least to the staff and administration, right? To the staff and those who people look up to, if not for the students. Now, there have been plenty of students or schools that invite us to talk to their students and have question and answer and so on and so forth, which is fine. But at minimum, the administration and staff needs to be trained. Now, if you guys have any questions about, why, quote unquote, Muslims are terrorists and stuff like that, why don't you bring us and we can discuss it? It's a good thing to learn and to understand. But to blame people is not acceptable. So any kind of education training that you guys would like, we can work on to hopefully make sure that students like, the ones that talked about, or others, never have to go through what they're going through. Brothers and sisters, I'll end with the following. Our history is full of lessons for us. I was taught by my teachers to love America because there are certain parts of our history we are proud of. I am proud of. And those are the moments where leadership has stood up to defend the right of the people. They have been on the right side of history. They have been those who stood up for justice. Dr. Martin Luther King, not long ago, we celebrated him, right? All right. Malcolm X, Cesar Chavez, they gave their lives. And we're proud of these moments. We're proud of these moments. And there are times in our history we are ashamed of. And I always ask myself, if I was alive in those periods, what would I have done? Would I have been with the one who called people Japs? Or would I have been the people that supported the Japanese American people? Would I have been the people that oppressed our African American brothers and sisters, our Chinese, our Italian, our Latino, nowadays Hispanics? So we have a choice, brothers and sisters. The leadership has a choice. And I'll leave you with this. Today you have a choice. You can make me proud, make us proud. So 100 years later, they can say, there was a president of a board that made the right decision. And we can celebrate that. Celebrate all of you. Because, mistakes happen. Fine. Right? But it's how we deal with it. I see it as an opportunity. That's why I took a 2-hour drive. My wife is sitting in a car. Right? And I have to go back 2 hours. Why? Because I saw this as an opportunity. I could have just told the media guy, you know what? These guys are all racist. They're all just bad. But no, that's not the right thing to do. That's not the right leadership. So I'll end with this. You have an opportunity to be on the right side of history. Brothers and sisters, I honor your service to the community, and I extend my hand to help in any way, shape, or form. I'll leave my cards outside, and I'll also leave some of the reports. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Mojave,
More happy.
does your office provide the sensitivity training that you just talked about? The reason that I ask is because back in October, November, we contacted ICOE, and they told us that they provided sexual harassment training, but not sensitivity training. So my question to you is, does your office offer sensitivity training?
Absolutely, we do. And also, so we have provided sensitivity training for the FBI, for law enforcement, for police. We also have one for educators. We actually have a pamphlet that says, you know, your guide to the educators for the Islamic community or something like that. But we have printed material, we have sensitivity training. At the end of the day, if we can start some kind of a discussion, I'm telling you, every school district, I'm not going to name it, but every school district that we have gone to, the principals and those in charge, they have appreciated it. Why? Because it was a source that they never had. And we don't charge. It's for free. It's free. It's free. So I'll leave it with that, but I also will tell you that we have caught certain schools. Again, I'm not going to name, right? We have caught certain school districts and schools that have had some major cases where things have gone wrong. And that's where I want to present here, because we want to be proactive before something happens, right? So we caught, for example, a school essentially plagiarizing from wrong sites, all right, and presenting it as a curriculum about current events. And when we were able to prove that, I mean, obviously the whole school district apologized and pulled it off and went through. But why? I mean, I'm not going to expose that to media because they were nice enough for us to pull it off, apologize, and replace it with good information. And that's my aim. I would love to work with you and the board to do the same thing with, I mean, listen, my cell phone is on my card. Your principals and your schools or your teachers should have my cell. They can call me anytime, day or night. I'll pick up. If they have a question, I can at least try to help, right? Because when a student comes and talks about ISIS and the teacher doesn't know what to say, right? And how to put it in the right context. So we should not blame the teachers or others, but rather provide them the right kind of information. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mojave. And that was item G, comments from the public. Do we have anybody else going once, going twice? Okay, so that was item C. G, yes. Okay, at this point, we will have a 5-minute break. We will be back at 7:55. Thank you. Thank you. Come back from our 5-minute break. It is now, from our 10-minute break, it's now 8 o'clock. So we are reconvening to open session. Item H, presentations. Item H1 is studio fitness presentation.
That's me.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just leave you this for you.
Do
It's
you,
just information. Yes, I'll explain right now.
okay. Do you have enough copies for,
I have an extra one, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I did not know how many people really. And I have
that's
extra
okay.
copies right there. I'll leave them right there.
okay, you have extra copies to put there?
Oh, I have flyers right there. I'll leave them right there.
Okay. Ten por allá.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Carrascosa, and I'm an instructor, fitness instructor, and owner of Studio Fit. And that's what I'm here for right now, to promote our services with your teachers. Studio Fit is a wellness center whose mission is to motivate, educate, and inspire an exclusive number of people. In addition, we help improve our members' quality of life through practice and orientation and fitness instruction, as well as meal plans. Studio Fit strives to be a gym that stands out for its quality and service, and the practice of physical activity. So we're here to promote special rate for your employees, teachers, $40 monthly for unlimited classes. We have classes from Monday through Saturday, a free health assessment, and a balanced meal plan. So, and I wrote just a few reasons why teachers, well, everyone, right, but why teachers should exercise. So I'm going to mention just some. Well, we all know, and I know because I taught for 14 years in a private school, teaching is a very stressful job, right? So, well, exercise is a healthy way to help relieve that stress for teachers. Another one might be interesting for all of you if you're teachers. It strengthens immune systems. Teachers sometimes can accumulate unused sick days over the years, so the less they are sick, the earlier they can retire, right? And plus, who really wants to be sick? Another good reason, is that it sharpens thinking skills. With exercise comes an increase in blood flow to the brain, which will help teachers stay focused when having to deal with a lot of questions from students and that they throw at them every day. It also enhances moods. Teachers need all the endorphins they can get to be in a nice mood or no worries about anything. And something else, very important, I think that teachers are role models. If teachers try to live a healthier life through exercise and a good nutrition, well, that's what they're going to predict. That's what students are going to see and try to imitate, right? We all know that there's a lot of students, kids, that they're overweight, and all this is prevention of all those diabetes and things that nowadays are starting with our kids. Also, another good point, it also helps them with creativity. Research shows that exercise helps memory and stimulates creativity. Great time for teachers to run lesson plans, create engaging activities for students. Somehow that extra physical activity gives them their brain the boost to make those lessons plans more engaging and interesting for students. And last, well, they'll sleep better, right? What teacher doesn't need to get a good sleep? So thank you for your attention, and I hope you can promote us and send all of your teachers to our studio fit. Thank you.
Thank you. That was item H1. Item H2, new course of study at Calexico High School, Navy National Defense Cadet Corps, NNDCC. Ms. Williams?
Good evening, board, ladies and gentlemen. Gabby Williams, principal at Calexico High School. I'm here tonight to present and share with the board and share with the audience. Oh, okay. A little error. Okay. Thank you. And share with everyone one of the exciting things that we are researching right currently at Calexico High School and looking into different ways of enhancing our curriculum, our program, our instructional services, and provide different opportunities for our students. Included for everyone who hasn't read our mission statement at Calexico High School, I constantly remind our teachers of our mission statement. I tell them this is who we are, this is what we need to believe in and breathe in and walk in and sleep about this mission statement. And part of our mission statement is that Calexico High School will provide students with a relevant and broad-based curriculum. And so this is one of the reasons I'm here tonight and sharing with you and a program that may potentially enhance our current instructional program for students, and again, looking for ways to bring a relevant curriculum to our students so that they can continue to become lifelong learners, compete and collaborate successfully. As you can see, some words there that I have highlighted and put in bold is those are words that have resonated with our Bulldog Council and our staff members. And this is what we strive for. And of course, we are a culture, a school that that we do believe, and like I shared with you in the beginning, believe and walk, and I tell my staff again, sleep on our mission statement is everything we do, we try to do with pride, honor, and excellence. Moving on, sharing with you some of the current electives at Calexico High School. At the 9th grade campus, we offer, as you can see there, a list of electives: Art 1, Spanish, English Literature, Computer Applications, MESA, AVID, and ASB Leadership. At the main campus, we have more options for students, from the same courses to additional courses, and of course our CTE pathways. One of our goals for the next instructional year is to hopefully add to our program, to our instructional program, and start a pathway, per se, a Navy National Defense Cadet Corps program. And I can't take all the credit. I have to give the credit and introduce Mr. Martinez, who's here in the audience. Raise your hand. I wish I could take all the credit, Mr. Martinez. But Mr. Martinez is our U.S. history teacher, and he approached me a couple of weeks ago or months ago with this idea, started sharing with me his thoughts, and the more I read about it, looked into it, and heard him, this is something I believe that can definitely be relevant and rich, and a great opportunity for our students. The program itself and what we've learned so far, what we've researched, this is a Navy program. It is conducted only at accredited high schools. It is taught by retired Navy personnel, and the program is focused on developing responsible students, respect for authority, leadership potential, and a high degree of personal self-esteem in our students. The program also promotes higher education. Okay?
Just back away a little bit from the
Is that
microphone.
one too close?
Yes,
I can't hear myself, I'm sorry.
thank you.
Yes, sir. The program promotes higher education, community service, patriotism, a healthy lifestyle, and healthy eating habits for our students. It also addresses dress, grooming expectations for our students, and social manners. The curriculum is developed and provided by the Navy program. The curriculum focuses again on citizenship, leadership, naval topics, operations, navigation, and so forth. The curriculum then every year is augmented by activities such as community service, competitions, visits to Navy facilities, physical fitness training, marksmanship, sports training. So as the program progresses every year, it is enhanced by additional activities. The Navy program offered at schools is, the core of it is based on the Navy core values of honor, courage, and commitment. All of our students, or all the students that are recruited and attend and are part of this program, let me move to that page. Take on the Navy Cadet Corps pledge. As you can see here, again, the core values that are instilled and taught to the students are honor, courage, and commitment, to build a foundation of trust and leadership upon which the Navy Cadet unit is based. And these are principles which will give us strength and guide us in our daily activities. We will be faithful to these core values as our abiding duty and privilege. These programs are led, facilitated by, again, retired Navy personnel. The instructor himself is a retired or eligible reserve or medically disabled Navy, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard officer. And enlisted personnel, as you can see there. Instructors are school employees, are considered school employees. Their salaries are determined by the rank of the instructor and equal at least the difference between retirement and active duty base pay and allowances. I'm too close again?
You're too close to the microphone, Ms. Williams.
Okay. Again, good. How to establish, and one of the things we've learned, how do we go about establishing this program at any high school? The first step is to submit an application for consideration. After that application is submitted, again, only for consideration, the school is given an agreement. That means that you have been considered and they have agreed for that high school to sponsor a Navy cadet program. Once the agreement is signed, a cadet corps program may potentially be established or is established at a high school. Our goal, we hope, at Calexico High School is that we establish a cadet program, hopefully for the next school year, 2016-2017 school year. The following year, there could be two options, and one is to expand the program to the 10th grade or to continue to offer the program at the 9th grade and just keep it at the 9th grade level. Another step on how to establish the program, of course, is to recruit and hire an instructor. That instructor will be sustained by the district. Again, the curriculum is provided by the Navy. The supplies and equipment is purchased by the district. And after 2 years of sustaining the program at our high school, an application for consideration to move up a level and officially establish a Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Program is submitted, and hopefully wait for approval after that. In our research, we looked into the financial impact of this program. And I've had, again, Mr. Martinez has been an excellent liaison with other high schools out there and the Navy base in helping me gather information in this budget. So this budget is very, very, very accurate of what it would take to establish such a program, from the uniforms, as you can see there. And we just, it was just a random number as far as female cadets, male cadets that can be, that could change. One of the requirements that I don't think I included in here for establishing a cadet program is that we have to recruit 10% of our student population for that particular grade level. So if the program is established at the 9th grade level, 10% of our students must be in the program. So that's why you see the number there, 60 and 20, because at the 9th grade campus, we have an enrollment of 810 students. So approximately, give or take, the recommendation and requirement of the Navy program is to have 10% of that number. And then you see a cost there for a collar guard, a kit, and so forth, drill rifles, uniforms, and patches. And this is the minimum, and this is a good start for any program. Of course, it can vary as you can get more creative. Here's a picture of the Navy Junior OTC uniform, a female and a male uniform. So to find out if we have interest from our students, I work with our junior high principals, Mr. Velez and Mr. Romero, and they were gracious enough to allow us to conduct a survey. Not all of our students, not all of our students participated. But 547 of our 8th graders did complete the survey, as you can see there. And 41.3 of that 547 students that took the survey expressed interest in joining one of the armed forces fields. So we felt that was the interest is pretty high, with actually number 1 being culinary arts, cuisine, cooking, and the armed forces being their second choice. Our audience, if we were to establish this program, and our goal is to enhance learning for all of our students, motivate our students that are not meeting the state standards, and build leadership and character skills in our students, not to mention the advantages and that it would bring to our student culture and community as well. The chances or probability of our school, our district being considered for this program, from our research, from Mr. Martinez's research, is the chances are pretty high for our high school to be considered again, accepted. One of these are some of the Navy statistics. The minority participation in the Navy program is 56%, with 23% of that being Hispanic. So one of the things they've shared with us, communicated with us, is that recruitment of Hispanics and minorities. Part of our research, we visited Grossman High School in San Diego. We spent there the whole day. They have an excellent program. They're very gracious to share all their secrets and insights on how they started the program 15 years ago. We spoke to the lieutenant/teacher who was there from the beginning, and he had experience in founding other programs, so he shared a lot of, again, insightful information for us. The culture, what we saw, the atmosphere at the school was excellent. We spoke to a lot of the students in the program, and they shared many positive, all of them positive experiences and the reasons why they joined the program and what they hope to pursue after high school graduation. This is just two other pictures. And we continue to learn about the Navy Junior Reserve Officer Corps program and the cadet program. Our next visit will be next week to San Ysidro High School on Tuesday. And as we gather more information and as we hope to bring this program to Calexico High School. Any comments or questions? All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was item H2, new course of study at Calexico High School for National Defense Cadet Corps. Item I, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion. Is there a motion to approve the item I?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. That was item I. Item J, information items. Item J1, Superintendent's Report.
Yes, good evening, trustees and committee. My report is not very long today. Just to keep you updated on our district-wide enrollment, we are at 9,208 students, with obviously our highest enrollment being at Calexico High School, which is 2,961. It's a little lower than it was before, but our numbers at Aurora have grown, so we've had some students transition from Calexico High School to Aurora High School. So they're still in the district. Migrant speech and debate, Calexico Unified had about 30 migrant students participate in this year's speech and debate tournament a couple weeks ago in Heber. And they represented our district very well. They were highly complimented by judges and other schools. We had a few individuals, students who placed in their respective divisions. And Willie Moreno actually competed in 2 divisions and placed first and second in those divisions. So congratulations to our students and their coaches. Safety being an ongoing concern in our district, we had a meeting with the Chief of Police, Mr. Reggie Gomez. Mr. Carlos Gonzalez and I met with him recently. Very productive meeting regarding having an ongoing and positive working relationship with Calexico Police Department. And he expressed his support and priority of school and general public safety. There's been a lot of talk about what, if anything, that we are doing with the facility that's adjacent to Blanche Charles Elementary, what I'll refer to as the old ABE facility or the former temporary Jefferson. I think it's had a lot of lives in the past. So as you're aware, we have been assessing what needs to be done to create an alternative education center under one roof per se in our district. We're working on costing out the potential costs and believe strongly that a viable location for an alternative education center where we would house Aurora, Adult Ed, and bring back Community Day School would fit perfectly in that vacant facility that's immediately to the right of Blanche Charles. This facility would allow Aurora High School the space that it much needs to accommodate more students if the need were there. But before considering such a relocation, we need to, of course, present the board with a potential fiscal impact and hold meetings with the general community in that area. We know now that at least 50% or more of Aurora students live in that general area, so there would be an advantage to keeping the school close to at least part of its students. Another option for the facility, if it weren't an alternative education center, would be to allow our Family Resource Center and Behavioral Health to operate from that facility, as they have truly outgrown their current location. So I encourage the board to consider a special board meeting in the near future to discuss this matter, or to at least allow us to have this item at the next board meeting as a voting item or presentation item for your review. And that is all for tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent Ambriz. Item J2, association comments. ACT, I believe they already made their comments. And next on the list will be CSEA. Do we have anybody from CSEA? There we go. Thank you.
Good evening, board members and staff. I just wanted to talk on behalf of the Food Service Department. I'm Pat Bristol, CSEA Chief Negotiator for Chapter 399. We finally signed an MOU for the cafeteria workers to increase of hours. And we work very hard on this with the staff and Ms. Randolph Business Department and Mr. Carlos Gonzalez. And we just want to thank you for, if it's approved tonight, the ladies here want to say thank you as well. So I just wanted to give a thanks for putting that into them. They've been here for 25 to 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you. That was CSEA and their comments for this board meeting. Item J3, committee reports. Do we have a report from the pool committee? Yay.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, trustees. Tonight for our update on the pool, I'm just going to share just briefly that there had been an issue and that we're still working with the city very closely regarding the funding. So I hope to have more information to provide at a later time to the board and to the community. But tonight, the focus on this update is going to take a look at the rendering and kind of give the board and the community an idea of what it's going to look like. And Mr. Sanders is here to present that information. And I just want to point out to the rendering, first, the name of the pool, that it's just very exciting, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful building. And I'll let Jimmy Sanders get into that a little bit.
Can we put that over there so the public can see it? Thank you. There we go. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'd like to present the exterior elevations and the material color board for the new pool, Margarita de Necochea Bulldog Aquatic Center. Sure. So this is the north elevation, similar to the south elevation, and so this elevation would be if you were at the high school looking back at the pool or at the shower and locker building / pool facility. So here's our shade structure, and this is the shower and locker building. So the shower and locker building, the outside finishes are comprised of the concrete masonry. So we have the 3 different colors of concrete masonry, which are represented here in this rendering. And then the shade structure is a combination of the concrete masonry and a steel, structural steel, and a steel deck, which all is painted the bulldog garnet color, which is represented here. And then we also have some plaster to complement the block, and this is the color of the plaster. This elevation here would be the elevation if you were actually in the swimming pool and you got up out of the pool and looked towards the shower and locker building. So again, you can see the concrete masonry, the three different colors of the masonry. We have, of course, the bulldog garnet accent color on the paint, and then we also have some plaster. And then this last elevation down here shows the color of the interior tiled walls and floors.
Mr. Sanders, pretty nice. But why don't we have more garnet or bulldog garnet outside?
Well,
I say more because I see that some of the doors they are garnet, but
right.
these been our colors forever.
Right, and that's represented in this color here. And so,
Yeah.
so if, for example, if you're on Encinas and you look back towards the project or back towards the pool facility, what you'll see is the length of this shade structure. So even though you only see a sliver of it right here, when you're looking at it from Encinas, you're going to see a huge amount of the bulldog garnet color.
Okay.
Not to mention that garnet takes a beating during the summer.
Well,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be replaced and replaced and replaced.
I like garnet. But no, thank you. That's very nice, and I think finally after 5 years we're seeing actual results. So I'm glad that we're gonna be opening up in May, right?
That's correct. Yep, we are still on schedule.
Yes. Just say yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Well, I would only say yes if that was accurate, and I'm glad to report that
Are we on track?
that it is accurate. If anything ever happens to where we're not on schedule, I would have to come and bear that news. But we are on schedule, and we don't see any reason why we would be off that schedule. So.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders.
And so while Jimmy's standing here, I did ask that these pictures are on our website. In the pool committee, we took a field trip out to the site, and so I wanted to show those pictures as well. Well, not of me personally. No, that's not the one I wanted you to show, but of the outline and just the progress on the project. And I know that we all drive by every now and then, and we can see, wow, it is really coming along. So we're very excited, and tonight's one of the most exciting nights that we've had to present information regarding that pool. And we certainly just want to instill that confidence to our community that we are moving forward with this project, and this is where we are. So I'm very excited and very happy to present this. And there's Jen. No, I'm kidding. But it's just exciting. So when you drive by, just look through there, and it's really coming along. So if they look through the fence, we're gonna let them get away. Yeah, you can't go through the fence, but but certainly look at that. I mean, it's really amazing, and certainly on its way to coming together. And I'm happy that Jimmy can report that we are on schedule. So May it is.
May it will be. Mr. Sanders, thank you for your hard efforts, because like I said before, we have been without a pool for the longest time, and actually seeing something concrete, for the lack of better words, it does. Yeah, it is refreshing. Okay, Norma lived through the days where we had plans but nothing else. Now we're seeing actually what everything that she worked for is actually being formed as we speak. So thank you for your help. And May it is.
We're excited for it to get hot.
Yes. Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions, comments?
Have we made any outreach to perhaps getting those for the heating, the solar panels, and reaching out to any of the solar panel companies that are building in our county?
We actually have a meeting next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Because for what I remember, it has to be heated 100% of the time, right?
Well, it doesn't have to be, no, you have the ability
It's
to
solar,
heat
it's supposed
with,
to be
with
geared
gas.
solar panel ready, but the solar panels weren't built into the price.
Well, that would be a good idea to talk to IID and see what is it that they can do for us.
That's why I'm saying that as a district, we should reach out
Yes.
to local companies that are benefiting from investment into it, give back to the community, they're
Exactly.
getting profits from.
Maria? Okay,
That's all.
good
Thank
idea.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. No more questions, board? Thank you, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you.
Ms. Randall? Okay, so that's the pool. Insurance committee, do we have a report on the insurance committee? That is true. It would fade.
Good evening, trustees. Just a very quick update. Our last insurance committee meeting was held on January the 19th, and there was an inquiry. We always talk about any recommendations from CSCA or ACT, and there was an inquiry in regards to our VSP plan, which is our lens and our eye insurance plan, and one of the recommendations was to look at the possibility of the VSP plan switching lenses on a yearly basis as opposed to every 2 years, which is what we currently have right now. So that's something that we're going to be exploring as a committee. The other one is we did get a renewal quote from Anthem Blue Cross, which is our current carrier. They quoted us at 4.74%. With a possibility that there will be a reduction. And so at our next scheduled insurance committee meeting, which is scheduled for February the 17th, we'll get an update from Anthem Blue Cross and also an update as far as quotes and price from some of our other carriers. And so that's our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Board members, do you have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. That was Insurance Committee, Safety Committee. Do we have a report from the Safety Committee? Ms. Ramirez, thank you.
Good evening. Just to inform our board that our administrators are, as we speak, having meetings with our school site council to get their final plans approved. They will be submitting their plans by tomorrow is the deadline, right? Yes, and so we will be putting them for the board for approval for our next board meeting. And then we want to go through our plans and then have discussions on them. And as I told administrators, right now we have a deadline. We've been putting a lot of input into them. That doesn't mean that that's going to be our final plan, because as we continue to meet with the safety committee, any input that is given, we're going to be updating those plans just like we do with our single plan for student achievement. And we don't have a scheduled safety committee meeting yet. We were tentatively hoping to meet sometime in the middle of March, but right now we haven't set a date for that one. Okay.
Board members, do you have any questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Ramirez.
Okay, we're here for the next one.
Oh, you got the next one too? Okay, LCAP Committee, Ms. Ramirez?
LCAP committee, right now we are, or I am, sleeping, talking, eating LCAP. We had an LCAP week all week, so we had our first ACT teacher consultation yesterday, all day. A lot of input, a lot of conversations, and we went over 2 of our goals, and these were 2 goals that we know take time because it addresses curriculum. Then at night, last night, we had our second parent consultation meeting, and we spoke about our goal number 2 on professional development. Also, every meeting we have with parents, there's a lot of good input provided by our parents. Our third LCAP meeting for parents is going to be in 2 weeks. We're holding a meeting every two weeks on a Wednesday night from 6 to 8. And then today we had our CSEA LCAP consultation, and today we went over all the goals. A lot of learning going on both parts. On the educator side, I'm able to provide a lot of information that they were not aware of. And then on the other side, they provide for me a lot of information regarding their side of what they do. And so there was a lot of learning. It was very productive. We got a lot of good ideas, and we see that there's a lot of needs that we need to start working for. We're also holding administrator consultations sometime in March. We have so far March 14th set for that. And then we're hoping to hold some student consultations, and I'm going to be getting a hold of Ms. Williams to see how we can bring some of our students and get some of their input. And then eventually, towards the end, we're going to have our core committee, which is a committee that has representations from all stakeholders. And that's where we're going to look at all the input that was provided from all the stakeholders, and then how we prioritize our wish list. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. Board members, do you have any comments? Yes?
Thank you. How will student representatives, or no, let me rephrase that. Will students that will be asked to provide their input, are those only coming from student leadership positions, or are we tapping into, your average student?
So that's why I need to meet with Ms. Williams to see how it is that we're going to set it up and who are the students that we want to pull out. So we're still in the planning stages of how to do it. I don't know how it was done last year. I know that there was some kind of group that was selected.
How we did it last year was that we asked the high school administration to randomly select 30 students from every grade level at the main campus, and then at the 9th grade campus, we actually went and only addressed the ELD classes because they were a very big component. So that's how we handled the student component at Calexico High School last year. So I'm sure there's different ways of doing it, and so we're hoping that Gabby can provide us.
So we're trying to see what ideas we can brainstorm into
I think it would
different
be
voices.
important, exactly, to get a good cross-section of different student populations.
Definitely.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to take the time to appreciate the leadership at the 2 schools that have hosted the LCAP sessions already. We had the first one at Enrique Camarena, so Mr. Romero and Ms. Jimenez did a good job of welcoming our community. And last night was also a very incredible evening, very welcoming evening at Dual School, and Ms. Hansen. And when I thanked Ms. Hansen, she said it was actually the parents who helped set it up, and the staff. So, thank you to Dual. Very, very, very welcoming. And we have all the same group of parents who's showing up, and they're very committed to being a part of the community forum. And they feel that they're not very strong in numbers, but we tell them the strength comes from within their voice that they are going to share on behalf of the district.
So our next meeting is going to be on
February 24th.
I'm already in March.
February
February 24th at Blanche Charles. It's a Wednesday from 6 to 8.
And that'll be the technology.
Technology. And another thing we're doing this time differently is that we initiate some of the presentations, and so now we're asking the rest of our departments to share in the knowledge and on the sharing of information. So I know that my curriculum department did a lot of the speaking last night regarding professional development and curriculum. So now we're going to have our technology department speak on a goal that pertains to what they do in the LCAP.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. And I am glad that you are talking to teachers and CSEA and all the staff, because I think it's important to get the input. Thank you. So that's the LCAP committee. Item J4, board reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. Ms. Aguilar.
In the past month, I had the opportunity to speak to 2 separate parent groups, both from Kennedy Gardens, and both expressed some concerns that were similar. And I just want to verify. I spoke to Mr. Lencho Calderon, and he did say that he had followed up with Ms. Ambris, and that it had been handled Could you provide, an update in terms of that, those concerns and how they were addressed?
You want me to do that now?
No.
The concerns that were expressed, I discussed them with the school principal, and actually the school principal and Mrs. Ramirez worked on it. They actually had a conversation with the police department. They had a follow-up. They actually, it was the evening of the last meeting, as a matter of fact, and so they actually had taken the suspect into custody. And he was released, immediately thereafter. So we've been, which prompted us to go look at all of the safety entrances for the school site, and we've made some arrangements for additional fencing and trying to provide, getting estimates for providing the privacy slats that separates the property of Kennedy Gardens with the homes that are along Robert Kennedy and part of Rockwood Avenue. That's where we're at this time.
Thank you. Other than that, just that it's a pleasure to be working with all of you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. Ms. Real?
As of today, no, I don't have nothing to report.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Real. I am, so far with the LCAP meetings that we have been going, good evening. Welcome to our meeting. And so with the LCAP meetings that we've had, I've seen people being interested in the meetings, being interested in participating, and I encourage all principals and administrators to reach out to those parents, okay, regardless of whether they are active or not. We want to hear what they think. They are part of this community. These parents, they want the best for the children, okay, and that's all that matters. They need to be, you guys, you administrators, you need to make that effort to try to get those parents into those meetings. Some of our parents, they work 2 or 3 jobs. We understand that. Is it hard for them to come to our meetings? Of course, it's going to be hard. But we need to try to do the best that we can in getting those parents to our meetings. And I would like to thank Ms. Ramirez and the superintendent for putting these LCAP committee meetings together. They're very nice, and hopefully, like I said, it will be, the number of parents will be growing. That's all I have to report. That was item J4. Item J5, accounts payable pre-list for January 2016. Is there are there any questions? Ms. Aguilar?
No.
Ms. Real? Okay. No questions?
My notes are numbers.
Okay. Okay, item K, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. Item K1, before we go to item K1, I know there's a presentation that would like to be made. Is that true? Do you have something, a presentation? Yeah. Okay. Or a video that you would like to show? Okay.
And this presentation is in line with item K1, so that you could see what it is that's being proposed here, a sample of that work.
Good evening, President, board members, audience. Stop.
Well, Aurora High School is a recovery program that allows students a second opportunity to get their high school diploma. We have a supportive staff. We have those opportunities that the students need to be successful. We want them to celebrate victories. Every time that there is an accomplishment in their life, we want to make note of it. A lot of the students that come without a purpose or no light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. But we provide that light, we provide that purpose, and we allow them to be successful because failure is not an option at our school. We want all our students to graduate and have those options. The goal of Aurora High School is to recover the credits, and attend Calexico High School if they choose to do so. If not, they're more than welcome to graduate from our site. Continuation High School's alternative programs are for those students who recover credits and to raise their GPAs.
This school is an amazing school. Like, it helps you a lot. The students and the staff are really nice, and they educate you guys, or us as students, really nice.
I recommend the school a lot because it helps you, and for people who are struggling, students who are struggling at Calexico High School, Southwest High School, this is a really good opportunity to continue your credits and to graduate faster. It's a faster program.
Well, what I believe that helped me succeed and graduate was that the teachers actually took the time to sit down with me and help me with the schoolwork. If I had any questions, they would take the time, set me aside, and continue helping me with the schoolwork.
The first day I came here, I was a screw up. I was a troublemaker. I had straight F's, and thanks to the support of these great teachers, my parents, and the great principal, John Moreno, I made it. I graduated, and I'm here.
They're here for different reasons, and they just need that extra time and that extra push at all times. And I believe that the fact that we have a small classroom size, that enables us to develop the relationship with our students.
I have attending this school because I need to get the credits done, and because I want to graduate faster, because I work at my own pace, and because I've been motivated to work to make my career.
Graduated in 2011. I applied for the California Department of Corrections. I got hired approximately a year ago. I've got almost a year in, and I'm very happy with my job, and I couldn't do it without all that.
Just kids who need some extra time and some extra push and that extra motivation that the school does provide, because we do it, not just the teachers, but just the staff in general. The students motivate each other.
But they're giving you a second chance, that's the thing. And then you gotta think about it, because I mean, it's your career, it's your life, you put it in life.
So as you can see, we at Spectrum, we do a lot of video work. As a matter of fact, we do your meetings here. As you know, nowadays we all live in a very digital world where not a lot of people tend to spend time reading. Now everything is about visuals. I mean, tell me what it is that you need to tell me, because we need to move forward. Here at your district, I mean, there's a lot of good programs, science programs, a migrants program, academics, that I felt that it could be something that needed to be highlighted for people that are not living in our district, and for anybody that's moving, that's from out of the area and planning to relocate to an area in the Imperial Valley, that are looking, to places where to allocate their kids, that it would be an ideal way to have this types of videos, this types of information in your website. So when parents are looking into the different districts and to see what opportunities are out there for them, that you have these kind of images. There's a lot of positive things going in Calexico with the Calexico Unified School District. And I felt that this would be a good way, a good tool to utilize, not only on your social media, but like I said, on your website. This kind of videos can be utilized everywhere. So that's how the conversation came about with Superintendent Ambriz. And I wanted to go ahead and share that video. Obviously, this was donated by Spectrum, but we felt that it would be a good idea for the constituents, the board members, to see what it is that we're proposing, and that we hope that we can do for you in the near future.
Board members, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Besides our website, because obviously if somebody's moving into the valley, they're going to go to our website to go see what we offer. I mean, where else would you guys display what you guys are offering for us to put us out there in the map and saying, what Calexico High School offers, this, besides our website? Because obviously if I'm moving to Calexico, I'm automatically going to go to the website of Calexico to go look up what they offer. So how is this video going to benefit us really to promote these programs that we have?
excellent question. There's numerous ways that we can do this. One of the ways that we would do it as an added value is we would do it in community newsletters that are all over the Imperial County. So we would highlight your video and obviously put it in there as well. Those same videos are then shared with different districts, such as in East San Diego, Yuma, and the Coachella Valley, where we have what we have is video players. You have there's a few of them here in Calexico, where people have access to those videos, and we're able to send them out there, and other people have access to them around the region. We've also put it on social media, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, where people can go access a YouTube, and you can look at districts, Calexico, Imperial Valley, and those videos will come out. So that'll give you the extra exposure that you need, other than just the Calexico website. If your team staff ever has an opportunity to go out there and participate in different shows promoting your district, you're able to utilize these videos and go ahead and put them in computers, laptops, televisions, so you can have more exposure. So there's plenty of ways that you can utilize these videos so you can get the extra exposure.
So my next question is, because I see here that the impact of having this service would be about $6,000 a year, so $500 a month. How many videos would you be producing per month, or is like this one? I know it was just pertaining to Aurora, and we have plus other 12 schools, 13 schools. I mean, what is the target? What is it that you guys would be doing on that monthly fee or yearly contract that if we were to go?
In the past, what we do is we coordinate with the superintendent, and the superintendent allocates somebody to help to coordinate with, and we highlight different programs. We can do all these 10 programs within a month, within a week, within a year. It depends what it is that you want to highlight. Again, there's been districts in the past that utilize their programs, science program, math program, sports. There's different programs that depends whatever it is that you want to highlight. If you want to highlight a school, if you want to highlight a swimming pool, you can utilize these vignettes. They really don't have a set structure. It all depends what it is that the district wants to highlight.
Okay.
So in other words,
I didn't see that on my thing.
so in other words, this is a service that we're buying, but we are the ones, or the district will be the ones calling the shots as far as what is it that we want.
Exactly.
Or what is it that the district wants.
Yes,
If we want to,
What is it they want to show?
well, if we want to focus on special ed, or if we want to focus on the ACES program, or the migrant program, or the band.
Exactly.
So that will be set by Maria, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the team, to promote those programs.
Exactly. So the board can decide, or the superintendent can discuss it with staff and see what alternatives, what videos it is that you want to highlight, and we'll be more than happy to obviously accommodate those needs.
I want to thank Maria for taking the step with this particular. This is exactly the kind of exposure I've asked for in the past, and I would take it a step further, that not just using it to highlight our programs, but highlight our goals, or what we're doing, what our vision is. I think that gives a better understanding, or keeping the community informed where we're at, in particular with the LCAP. Maybe start recording the LCAP, and then I don't know, just a thought, throwing stuff out there. I mean, that 10 videos, that to me, that's just a start. I think that this is something that would be highly beneficial to us as a district.
And in addition, thank you so much, Ms. Aguilar. And in addition, as you can see, these stories are evergreen. You don't necessarily have to reproduce them every year, every other year. You can utilize the stories, and they can stay on 5 years, 6 years. So you really get your money's worth when you put something like this on video, because a TV commercial is only good for 30 seconds. It's only good for a certain exposure. But these types of videos, you can email them. You really can get a lot of exposure from them.
And Ms. Aguilar, I don't want to take full credit, because it is a conversation that has been on our radar for a long time, as you know. And the person who actually reminded me of it, Maria, we need to do more PR. We need to do more PR. There's a lot of good things going on in our district, was Mr. Ciro Calderon. And so happened that I ran into him a couple days later, and I was like, you know what? And, can we talk about it? And he said, yeah, I have the perfect thing. And he showed me some things that he had done for El Centro Elementary, and it was a great, so it started there, and it's coming full circle at this time. So I won't take full credit.
Great job.
Thank you. Board, any more questions? So we have item K1, thank you. We have item K1 on our agenda, proposal from Expression Advertising for video campaign for school programs for the 2016-17 school year. Actually, it shouldn't say for the 2016-17 school year, because we could actually, if approved, we could actually start right away. So we could just leave it. So we could just leave the 2016-17 school year out. So at this point, I would like to make a motion that reads that the board to proposal from Expression Advertising for the video campaign for school programs, and that's it. Not to say 2016-17 school year. Huh? Okay. But no, because it says 2016-17 school year. So then should we say for the 15-16 then? Or we should say 15-16 and 16-17?
If you just leave it as school program, it's like you're allocating
Okay.
from here on into eternity.
Okay, so let's say for the school 15-16 and 16-17 school years. Both school years.
And then, bear in mind, if you make changes to add this year, or whatever the remainder is, it would be from February, or let's just say March 1st to June 30th, then the amount's gonna change from $6,000 to $10,000.
Okay, never mind. Then I will retract my motion. So my motion will be as stated, as just like K1 says, proposal from Spectrum Advertising for the video campaign for school programs for 2016-17 school year. So that's my motion. Is there a second? There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. No further questions or comments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Comment on this. I'm not against it. I like the idea. I just rather push it to the next agenda and kind of have a little bit more background on this, and maybe the other board members involved as far as getting this contract. So I'm requesting to put it on the next agenda.
Well, there's a motion and there's a second, so then you need to vote.
Okay.
No?
I'm just saying my input, and so it's no. I want
Okay.
to put it on the next agenda.
So motion dies. No, it doesn't die. Motion doesn't pass. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Mr. Calderon. Voting against is Ms. Real. Ms. Real, would you like to make another motion?
I make a motion to put it on the next agenda.
Thank you. So there's a motion to put this on this next agenda. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Those voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and Mr. Calderon, myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K2, proposal for Medic First to conduct CPR first aid AED training for staff members between January 5, 2016 to January 5, 2017.
And this item is on here just so that we can keep our CPR first aid and AED training and certification ongoing for staff as is needed. It's voluntary for those that it's not required as a condition of their job.
So there's the item on K2. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. No further questions or comments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K3, agreement between Claremont Graduate University and Calexico Unified School District for fieldwork experience and service learning opportunities, the intern program. Mr. Gonzalez?
Good evening, trustees. This one is it's an MOU, an agreement that we bring to the board for approval from Claremont Graduate University. We do have quite a few MOUs with different universities. Before we allow any student to step on any of our campuses, we need to ensure that there is an MOU with that particular university. obviously to make sure that the guidelines are in place, that indemnification clauses, any liabilities, that those are definitely outlined. And so what we are bringing to you is an MOU for approval in order to allow students from Claremont Graduate University to be able to come onto any of our campuses.
Have we previously had an MOU with this university, or is this the first time?
With Claremont Graduate University, this is the first time. However, it's pretty exciting because Claremont Graduate University is a very reputable university, and it's very well known.
Okay. Any more questions or concerns?
No.
Yes, Norma?
From what I reviewed, it looks that there's significant more support through Claremont for the interns.
There is significant support for the intern program. You probably saw all the guidelines and all the requirements that they're putting on themselves for support. So it is a very highly structured program.
So I did read somewhere, and I just wanted to clarify, they have somebody as a support, and in one line I saw where that it might be one and the same person providing the support as well as overseeing. Is that correct, or
Right.
did I read that incorrectly?
Well, what happens is you have the university assign a supervisor.
Right.
And then on top of that, when you do have an intern also usually, well, you have to have a mentor that is a teacher from a particular school site, which needs to be highly qualified. They have to have more than 5 years experience, and that is outlined in the contract. And those are their checks and balances to ensure that whoever is supervising the student from the university and from the school district is highly qualified.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Board, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K4, memorandum of understanding between Ashley Tarkin and the Calexico School District, Unified School District for Professional Development. Maria?
This is for this Apple Distinguished Educator to provide training for our teachers on how to effectively use iPads as an engagement tool in the classroom.
Thank you. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. There's a item on the floor. Is there a motion to approve?
Before we motion,
Sure.
would it be possible for any board member to sit in on and observe these trainings?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
There's a second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K5, memorandum of understanding between CSEA Chapter Number 399 and Calexico Unified School District for increase in hours for food service staff. Mr. Gonzalez?
Trustees, there's two MOUs. There's one on K5 and K6, and so I'll talk to both. First of all, I'd like to really thank some of the folks that put so much work into this, starting with our CSEA president, Ms. Redona, Ms. Bristow, who is here as well, who was instrumental in making this a reality. Ms. Cañas, who was also present, and all the food services staff as well. We did have input and made sure that we were following the merit system with the Personnel Commission with Ms. Martinez, and also Ms. Myrando, and Director of Food Services, Mr. Venegas. And so this has been something that we've been working for months now. It started way from the beginning of the school year when we we're looking at the function of food services and the support that it was needed, and we noticed that there was a lot of additional support that was being requested, and it was more on a coverage, on a substitute. And so what we looked at then is how do we restructure, how do we streamline, and so with the input of all the CSEA members and the food services staff, we were able to come to an agreement to restructure the food services in order to ensure that we have the best support at all of our schools to ensure that our students get the services that they need. And so we are bringing an MOU to increase in hours to several positions. And then the second MOU is to also, when it comes to the job descriptions of 3 particular titles, to ensure that there was no confusion as far as what some of those duties that needed to be covered. So those were outlined in that MOU as well. So those are the 2 MOUs that we're bringing to the board for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. And as you stated, you have worked really hard with the CSEA to get this done, right?
That is correct.
Thank you. Board members, any questions or comments?
I make a motion to approve K5.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second? There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0, voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and Mr. Calderon, myself. Item K6.
Make a motion to approve K6 as well.
Item K6, there's a motion by, hold on, President, I need to read it. Let me read it.
Like you explained it already?
Let me know, but I need to read it. Item K6, memo of understanding between CSEA Chapter 399 and Calexico Unified School District to clarify responsibilities and assignments of the Food Service Assistant 1, Food Service Assistant Cashier, and Food Services Assistant 2 job descriptions. There's an item on the floor, Ms. Real, motion to approve this item. Is there a second?
Second.
The second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K7, memo of understanding between biennial extension between Clínicas de Salud del Pueblo Incorporated WIC program and Calexico Unified School District.
And this is an agreement between Calexico Unified and Clínicas de Salud, in particular with their WIC program, that provides support. It allows for this MOU allows for Clínicas to come in and provide CUSD support to pregnant and or parenting teens in their decision to breastfeed their infants, with the assistance and guidance, obviously, of Clínicas de Salud. This is something that we've had before, and it's a renewal of an agreement. It's not something that is accessed very much, but it's, in the event that somebody needs it, it's there.
So is it renewed like on a yearly basis? And they come to the classroom and do kind of like a training?
I think it's on
Or just awareness?
an as-needed basis by the individual students.
Okay.
So there's an item on the floor. Is there a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Norma?
I said aye.
Aye, okay. Aye, motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar,
Leave it on the speaker.
Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. I'm sorry, Norma, I didn't hear you.
Okay. Congratulations, ladies. Gracias.
Welcome.
I know it's okay.
He's looking at me like. Okay, that was K7. K8, memo of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Calexico Unified School District and ICOE on ELA, ELD adoption toolkit for professional development. Maria? Or who?
This is an agreement between CUSD and ICOE for the training on the EL adoption toolkit. It's a professional development, goes in line with LCAP Goal 1. ICOE provides training to district staff on and using the adoption toolkit effectively for the different grade spans. A little bit under $10,000 for the 3 different grade spans that we have, which is elementary, junior high, and high school.
Have we done this before?
Yes, for the math. So now we're doing it for the ELD.
Okay, so there's a item on the floor. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions? Okay, there's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. No further questions or comments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K9, memo of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Academic Innovations. Maria?
And this is for academic innovations to provide staff development on the Get Focused, Stay Focused career options, et cetera, for our students under Title I funding. And it's $4,500 for Calexico High School.
Okay. Okay, all right. So again, this is out of Title I, and we don't spend it. Send it back.
Pretty much,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's for 30 participants.
It's good training, and they're coming to us, right?
Yes, they're coming to us. 2-day training.
Okay.
And this is essentially to provide guidance to students about career choices?
About career choices, examining their lives, what is it that they see themselves doing, what career options, education that they would need to gear towards those careers, et cetera. Yes.
At one point, we used to have somebody in charge of doing this, correct? Many years ago?
Maybe many years ago.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second? I'll second that. There are no further questions or comments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I said aye.
Okay, voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. That was item K9. Item K10, adoption or revised job description, after-school program coordinator, ACES, and assets.
And this is a revised job description for the after-schools program and coordinator. We need board approval in order to clear an audit finding. That's the simple explanation to this. Correct?
That's exactly correct.
So there was an audit finding, and the recommendation was that we changed some of the job description.
That is correct, to revise it in
To
order
revise
to
it.
correct the FPM finding.
Yes. It's not that we don't have one, it's just to revise what we have.
That is correct.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Board members?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Mr. President, if I may, on the K-10, the way it's written, if you could make a motion, it should be expanded learning as it is in the job description instead of after school. So if we can make that change in the motion, I would appreciate it. That
Ms.
way it
Real,
aligns.
Can you retract your motion, please?
So expanded?
Expanded learning instead of, and then cross out after school.
Can you amend your motion? No, he wants us to say, he wants it to read expanded, but not on the.
But not in the description
Not on
of the
on the first description right here.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the expanded learning school, expanded learning program.
Thank you. There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. That was item K10. Item K11, approval of to request proposals, RFPs, for well-field bleachers and demolish the current bleachers as soon as possible. Maria?
We received a letter from the Calexico Fire Department recently, I think it was last week, stating that the bleachers at Ward Field are in a very seriously compromised condition. It's imperative that our high school football bleachers be demolished and removed and replaced with new. Department of State architect-approved bleachers, and this needs to be done as soon as possible if we are to have any chance of having those bleachers installed by, if not by graduation, at least football season.
Okay, so right now, once we approve it, then we're gonna go out to bid?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And also, so since the bleachers have been compromised, can we just put tape around them?
Yeah.
No, sir.
And then I have another question, once we replace them, because I know the email said something about putting some temporary ones and then, but we're not gonna do that, right? We're just gonna replace them with TSA-approved, one-time thing, right? 'Cause
That is
I just
correct.
feel like it's just a waste of time to do it 2 times.
So the idea is that we will replace them with DSA-approved bleachers. However, for graduation, there's a possibility if we go through the RFP process and they won't be available or done in time, then we'd have to rent bleachers on a temporary basis until, so that we can accommodate our student and parents for graduation. But the idea is to have brand-new bleachers, in DSA-approved new bleachers, before, certainly before football season. But if we could, if we go through the process and we can get it done before graduation, then that's why it's on the agenda today, so we can start the process right away.
Okay.
And given the seriousness and needing to do this in an expeditious manner, the board needs to be aware that we will need the services of Mr. Jimmy Sanders in order to get through all of this process in expediting these bleachers as quickly as possible, at least on this project.
That is correct.
And I'm just reading about the letter, and I'm reading, and I quote, address options for addressing the life safety hazard of their home bleachers. So they're not condemned.
They should have been.
But see, that's not, my question is, did the fire chief or the acting fire chief or whoever came to inspect them, did he say that they were condemned or they were just dangerous? Basically, what is it that they said? Because I don't want to be, I don't want a kid to be playing or running up and down those bleachers and have something happen to the kid because we just didn't take action. I'd rather close the bleachers. They can run all around the soccer field if they want to.
Right, and that's why our recommendation is to demolish them,
But are they
to close them and
now for no
to.
use? Are they being used whatsoever right now for like exercise or anything? You know how people like to run up and down stairs?
I couldn't speak to, but I'm not sure.
I know that people are,
They're not being used during the instructional day, they're being used.
For soccer?
Post-soccer games. And we have an audience of 20.
And we can put them on the other side at this time.
Exactly,
so-
that's my point.
So my question is, once we, if we approve this right now, then will those bleachers be,
We will start
Yeah.
the removal of those bleachers
Okay.
immediately, yes.
so I make a motion to approve this.
So there's a motion by Ms. Real, is there a second?
second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar.
Did you want to speak?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the board understands, we can close those off so nobody's using those
Yeah.
via caution tape. However, there is a process to demolishing them. I just can't go run them over with a bulldozer tomorrow.
That's.
So I just want to make sure that's
I know
clear
that's
that,
gonna take a while, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Let
Is
me-
there any way you could tape them up so nobody's actually
Yes.
using them as of
Let
the
me-
day it got inspected?
Let me
so-
finish the motion, and then we can talk, because I have a question about that.
Okay.
So there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Yes, and that's what I was going to suggest, that from starting tomorrow, that those bleachers are closed off until they get removed. They can use them if it's only the soccer teams that are using them.
No, they could bring their own folded chairs,
Well,
chairs and watch the game. They don't have to
Exactly,
have bleachers.
or they can use the other side.
Yeah,
Okay,
why are
but.
we gonna risk somebody
Yeah,
getting
but I
hurt?
don't wanna risk, like you said, I don't wanna risk anybody getting hurt on those bleachers. So if you can take care of that, Maria and Ms. Williams, if you guys can take care of that tomorrow, that would be nice.
done.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, they can do it tomorrow. Okay. Well, then they're not gonna use them. They're gonna have to find another way to do the pep rally.
Wasn't the pep rally inside the?
We canceled.
Okay, it's canceled.
We had a pep rally scheduled tomorrow, and I canceled it. It just, we
So,
didn't have
thank
it.
you.
For the game tomorrow, we reached out to the
there we go. Yes,
See, thinking ahead.
thank you. That was item K-12, the K-11. K-12, approval to request proposals, RFPs, for photography services for fiscal year 2016-17.
And
Okay, yes.
this is just so that we have one photographer throughout our elementary schools or through all of our schools, I'm not sure.
It's one for elementary
There you go.
and one for secondary, because the needs are drastically different. But to go out to bid for both.
Is this like Life Touch, where they take the pictures of the teachers and the students?
So it could be, it would depend, it depends on who the bid. So what's happening is.
Well, I'm just saying that.
But a company, we'd like for a company of that caliber to quote for both the elementary school and both for the secondary, so that it kind of keeps down confusion at our school sites. And the goal of this district is to have all of our contracts ran through my department. So in order to do that and not have 5 different contracts for photography services, kind of spread throughout the district, we want to standardize the process of photography services in the district.
So I have a question. Do we currently have any contracts with anybody else? Because you're saying you want them to go through your office. So is there contracts being done going through somebody else's office?
Well, that has happened.
Do we have to hold to those contracts that currently
So
exist?
they are only 1-year contracts, so they will expire, and we will notice everyone that we're currently working with, and actually invite them all to be a part of the bid process.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's not a contract out there.
And that's why we're trying to make
And
sure
it'll
that.
be like, hey, you're putting out for bid and my contract's not up yet.
Absolutely, and that's why we're going through with this,
Okay.
so, yeah.
So make a motion to approve.
There's a motion on the floor by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 3-0, voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. At this point, I would like to make a motion to extend the meeting until 10 o'clock. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. I made the motion, Ms. Real seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Yes.
I did. No, Ms. Real made the, no, I made the
You
motion.
made the motion, I second.
Yeah. That would have been funny. Okay, so that was item 12.
Let's go.
Item 13, approval to purchase 1 new forklift from the handling system.
How many do we currently have?
Jeremy?
Currently, we have 1 forklift right now that's 30 years old. It's a ticking time bomb. So we use it in the warehouse. Currently, we've stepped up the game over there at the warehouse, where all products come through the warehouse before distribution to the school sites, where that wasn't happening in the past. So we're seeing a larger increase of product moving through our warehouse. We need the additional support with another forklift.
And in leasing forklifts, it's
Yeah.
much more expensive in the long run, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and currently we're renting one. We've been renting a forklift to augment our 30-year-old forklift for the past 8 months at about $1,000 a month. So right now we're throwing money away. So it only makes sense to purchase a new forklift so that it's ours, and we can get another 30 years of use out of it. So.
And we could transport it to any site for any reason if needed.
That's correct. You'll be seeing it on a future agenda to purchase a trailer to transport this. Currently, if there's a forklift needed at a different site, we drive it down the road with the chase vehicle. So, yeah, I'm dead serious. We have 1 forklift for the whole district. So, this would help us out.
Okay. So I make a motion to approve this.
There's a motion by Ms.
How come we
Real.
only have 130?
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K14, request for qualifications for Prop 39 expenditure plan.
So we have the Prop 39, we received 2.3 million in December of 2015, and we are requesting board approval to seek qualifications from firms on how to best implement this expenditure plan for Prop 39. Remember, for every, I believe every dollar spent, we should try to save $1.25 or so, and that's what what this is about.
So is there a motion for K14?
Yeah, motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0, voting in favor, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon.
And just in line with K14, something I should have mentioned in my report earlier is that we will have Senator Ben Wesso in our district next Friday, and he'll be presenting, doing a presentation at Willie Moreno Junior High School in their gym, in presenting a check for our district in the amounts of these Prop 39 funds. So it'll be an exciting day. At 10:30, 10:45? 10:45 at Willie Moreno.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ambriz. Item K15, acceptance of release of accident claim for Ms. Susana Moreno. Ms. Ambriz?
Yes. I believe it was last summer in June, Mrs. Moreno, a teacher at Calexico High School, her classroom was broken into and vandalized, and things were removed. So she suffered a loss in excess of $400. However, according to ACT contract language, claims shall not exceed $400 as per Article 13.9.1. So we're recommending that the board accept paying her the $400.
So we have K15 on the floor. Is there a motion to approve? I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K16, resolution declaring February 2016 as Black History Month. Maria?
And this is to officially have official board recognition as February as Black History Month.
Thank you. So there's a motion, there's a item on the floor. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. K17, resolution regarding disposition of surplus assets, non-asset technology equipment.
And so there are several items, particularly at this school, Rockwood, that are listed to be board approved for surplus so that they can be disposed of or removed legally, taken to recycling, et cetera. And you'll be seeing a lot of, I think I had mentioned it before, a lot of items such as these in the next few board meetings as we are cleaning up our schools and ridding them of the stuff that we don't need and that's obsolete, old adoptions, et cetera. So that's what this is all about. We're starting with Rockwood School.
And for what I understand, this equipment cannot be donated or otherwise gifted to anybody else, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, so there's an item on the floor, K17. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K18, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset custodial equipment.
Similar to the previous item, but this is for more maintenance and operation, custodial supplies, and that they be board approved for surplus so that they can be disposed of legally.
Thank you. There's an item on the floor. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K19, consideration of resolution urging the legislature to extend the personal beliefs exception deadlines and implementation of SB 277 relating to student vaccinations. Maria?
And so this is a letter that our board president and myself received recently, and it's a request by an organization to have our Board of Trustees consider approving a resolution urging the legislature legislature to extend or delay the implementation of Senate Bill 277 until July 1st of 2018. In essence, SB 277 eliminates the vaccination exemption for personal beliefs based on the fact that the public was not aware of the changes until January 1st of this year. It's on the agenda for your consideration and/or approval. I think one of their greatest concerns as an organization is that one of the concerns is that it puts the burden of monitoring solely on the schools without any additional support in terms of finance. You know, there's a lot of monitoring that has to go on to make sure that everybody is fulfilling this, and there's not any additional assistance to the schools. And this is something that is being requested of different school districts. And it's just here for your review, your consideration. You could wait until another meeting, but at least it's here for your review.
I personally feel this is a step in the right direction, simply because, as you said, it gives us very little time. If we don't do this, it gives very little time to review what we need to do. And it might put not only ourselves but our kids in danger because of the ramifications if we don't do what we're supposed to do.
Meeting with the deadline.
Yes,
And
exactly.
just to give you an example, or to illustrate part of the constraints, Mr. McFadden has been actively overseeing this piece in our district over the last few years, and just recently he shared with us that for the 7th graders in our district, there's 80 to 85% of our incoming 7th graders, so they're 6th graders now, have not met the vaccination requirement for the next school year. And so what is going to happen if by August, you have 50% still not meeting it? And so one of the things that he and Mrs. Hortensia Armendariz are working with is trying to get there to be vaccination clinics held in our district to help hopefully bring down that high percentage. And so, again, this is one of the burdens that this SB 277 creates for our district as well as other districts throughout the state.
So we have K-19 on the floor. Is there a motion to approve? I motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. Any no further questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K-20, first reading of revised board policy 4119.11, sexual harassment.
So we have item K-20 through K-24 are all board policy revisions, and we can have Mr. Gonzalez speak to them. The first one is, or I can, revising board policy on sexual harassment to add some missing words, missing language in it, but not much. Like for that one, just to add AR 4030, non-discrimination in employment. That's all that's missing in that title, and that's what that was all
And
about.
just to clarify, this is not that we are revising policy because we just basically, for the lack of better words, felt like it. This is recommended by CSBA.
These are recommended by CSBA.
That is correct.
Oh, right?
Yes.
So this is probably policy that is being revised all over the state.
Yes, we get the updates and then we compare it with our board policy, and we notice that they're not updated, so we bring them to the board to update.
So like I said, CSBA is sending this to all school districts, so it's not just us that are revising this if needed, but it's all school districts.
That is
They will be
correct.
doing the same thing.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. So is there a motion to approve K-20?
Motion to
There's a
approve.
motion by Ms. Real. Is there a second? There's a second by Ms. Aguilar. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Did you say?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K-21, first reading of revised administrative regulation 4032, reasonable accommodation. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. You know, further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. All voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K22, first reading of revised administrative regulation 4261.1, personal illness injury leave. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K23, first reading of revised board policy 4121, temporary substitute personnel. Is there a motion?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second? There's a second by Ms. Real. Sorry. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K24, first reading of revised board policy 4030 and administrative regulation 4030, non-discrimination in employment. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor are Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K25, certificated employment report.
Motion to approve. There's a
Yeah,
name that has to be
include
added
the
to
name.
this one.
Yeah, the name.
So there's a motion, there's a motion by Ms. Aguilar to approve, including the name of
What's the name on the TBD?
John Tyreen. Okay.
John Tyree for a social studies position.
For social studies position. So that's the motion. Is there a second?
Definitely changed. Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. Item K26, classified employment report. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. If no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. At this point, I would like to go back to J4 under board reports for myself. And I would like to, if it's okay with the board, I would like to ask Ms. Ambriz to contact or to get in touch with Mr. Hanif Mohebi to provide sensitivity training for the district. And I think it's a good idea. And so if it pleases the board,
From all levels,
for all levels,
from employees to board?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Let's support that.
yes,
Yeah.
all levels.
Me too.
Okay, so, Maria, we're giving you direction to make the arrangements and contact Mr. Hanif Mohebi and schedule the necessary meetings to get this going. Okay? So, okay, so that was going back to item J4. Item L, reconvene to earlier closed session. We are not reconvening to closed session anymore. We got everything done. Okay. Reconvene to open session. We're back. Announcement of actions taken in closed session. None. And adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Real. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Voting in favor of Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Real, and myself, Mr. Calderon. It is now 9:39. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Before 10 o'clock, 9:39.